Bienvenidos a esta presentación del pretérito. The preterite tense is one of two ways to speak in the past tense in Spanish. The other, which is the imperfect, is covered in a different video, and the difference between the preterite versus the imperfect is a separate lesson as well. These are regular preterite verbs, and the way you conjugate them is to simply take off the ending. In the case of hablar, we take off the AR, and to the stem we add the following endings. Hablé, hablaste, habló, hablamos, hablaron. There are a few things to note. Two of the endings have an accent mark, and this is different from the present tense. Hablé, habló. Both have an accent mark on the final vowel, which is the ending, and they need to be emphasized. It's especially important to emphasize the O in habló, because if the A is emphasized, hablo, you're saying I speak rather than habló. He or she spoke. Something else to note is that hablamos is the same as the present tense. How do you know which is being used? We speak or we spoke. The only way to know is by the context of the sentence. If the sentence starts with the word ayer, which means yesterday, then you know from the context that it is we spoke. Comer is an example of a regular ER verb. Again, we take off the ending, the ER, and to the stem we add these endings. Comí, comiste, comió, comimos, comieron. Again, the yo form and the he, she form have accents on the endings. Comimos is different, however, from comemos. So by looking at the word comimos, we can tell it is we ate versus comemos, we eat. Vivir is an example of an IR verb. IR verbs use the same endings as the ER verbs. Viví, viviste, vivió. Again, accent marks on the first and third person singular endings. Vivimos, vivieron. Vivimos can mean we live or we lived. So the same issue here and here we see, and the way you figure out what tense you're in is by the context. This is some vocabulary that is particular to the preterite tense in most cases. You'll learn more about these signals or the differences to use the preterite versus the imperfect in a future lesson or lessons. But for now, you're going to see this vocabulary in a lot of the worksheets that your teacher may give you, in exercises you might do, or on a quiz potentially. When you see these signals, they usually trigger the preterite tense. 7:30 in the morning can be any time of the day. I just picked 7:30 for this example. And 6 times can be any specific number. When you do something, when you did something a specific number of times, whether it's 6 or 6,000 or 6 million, you use the preterite. Practiquemos. Yesterday, my friends and I ate. Ayer, mis amigos y yo comimos. Note, yesterday, ayer is one of our signal words, which clues us to use the preterite. Last night, they talked on the phone. Anoche, ellos hablaron por teléfono. My family visited Spain last year. Mi familia visitó España el año pasado. A common mistake that Spanish students make is mi familia is conjugated into the plural form rather than the singular. Mi familia is called a collective noun, and while there are many family members in a family, mi familia is only one thing, and you conjugate it into the third person singular form. You all lived in a big house. Ustedes vivieron en una casa grande. And finally, I studied last night. Yo estudié anoche. Gracias por ver esta presentación del pretérito y te deseo mucho éxito.